So from you have this breakout season, and like we've already said, it was the talk of South East London, and a pro team comes in, or I'm assuming there was a few, but there's a certain one that came in that you kind of decided to go towards. Who was that?
So the story goes that I was on a coach coming back from a game against Godalming Town.
I remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
And I'd had a stinker.
Oh wow!
One of the only games I didn't score in. and the gaffer pulls me to the front of the coach and says, "Yo, Dicko, we had an offer for you." I'm like, "Okay." It's like, Hastings United want to sign you. I said, "Okay, great. They're in the same league as us. Yeah, we're gonna accept it." I said, "I'm sorry."
What are you dealing with?
We're flying on the top of the league.
Yeah.
I ain't going no Hastings United. So he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna accept it." And I'm like, "Nah, gaffer." Like he's proper got serious face as well. Goes, "No, we're gonna accept it." I'm like, "Gaffer, I'm not leaving. I don't care." He goes, "No, the club needs the money." I'm like, "I'm not going. I'm having too much fun here. I'm looking to hit 50 end of the season." I'm saying, "I ain't going." He goes, "Okay, I'm joking. The club has come in for you."
That's
Athletic.
dope. That was dope. That's a dope way to drop it.
I
Still.
went, "Huh? Now you're definitely joking, innit?" He's like, "No, you're going to Charlton on Monday."
That's
These
dope.
times,
Wow.
That's dope.
I've had another agent contact me and tell me that he's got Southend coming for me on Monday. So I'm like, the first thing I've done is gone on the phone to the other agent and said, "Yo, like, the gaffer just pulled me. Charlton have come in for me." He's like, "No, I've got Southend for you though." Monday I said, "Are you not listening? Charlton in the Premier League have come in for me."
You didn't believe him?
I didn't believe who?
You didn't believe the gaffer?
I didn't believe the gaffer. I didn't believe him. I was like, they're in the Prem. Like, they got big boy players there. Like, there's big names at Charlton. Like, I'm seeing Alex Song, Kevin Lisby, Darren Bent. Man, me? Yeah, I'm saying. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. Like, what the hell do you want with me?
Yeah.
And then, that week, like, I remember that's probably the only time I could probably say that I was actually a bit nervous. Because I was like, I'm going into an environment that's new to me, which wasn't the nervous thought. It's an environment that's new to me that I know the people that I'm going into the environment with.
When you say when you say new, just on that point there, what do you mean new? Because you're already in a footballing setting.
So I'm going into a professional football setting.
Yeah.
I'm going into a Premier League setting, and I'm going into a setting with players that I've only seen on television.
Like celebrities to you, basically.
Yeah.
How old was you at that point?
So I was 22.
Okay.
So I was 22. I literally, just turned 22. And I remember just thinking to myself, tomorrow I'm going to be sitting next to Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank.
That's mad.
And,
that's mad.
And I remember...
and not just work experience. No, I'm on par with these man. I'm coming here to sit down with them, on par with them.
Yeah.
I'm not just bringing man water. You know what I mean?
Proper.
And then I also remember just calling my work and saying, "I'm not coming. I'm not coming."
Hey, listen to
I
me.
won the lottery.
That's a good conversation.
That's a great conversation.
Have you seen that meme that's going around the Twitter?
I'm not calling, I'm going in. I need to say it face to face.
How would you sit on the chair to tell them, "I'm done"?
They think it's banner. Whatever. So I'm saying, but I also remember thinking to myself, no, that was a week later. But just calling my manager and saying, look, I'm not coming in. I've been offered a trial at Charlton. Because obviously they'd spoken about me so much in the newspapers and whatnot, they knew something might possibly happen, but no one really actually thinks that's going to happen of that magnitude as well.
Please tell me it was the woman you had to...
We're going to get to her. We're going to get to her. That's the week later. We're going to get to her. We're going to get to her the week later. So that week I was on trial. We had a game on the Tuesday. And I'd met a few people like on the Monday. We had a reserve game on the Tuesday against Fulham. It couldn't have gone any better, if I'm honest. The only way it could have gone better is I scored a hat-trick.
Yeah.
But it couldn't have gone any better, literally. And I always say a salute to Kevin Lisby because he made my job so easy. He allowed me to
he was a player.
Play how I wanted to play, knowing that the way I played that game is how he usually plays his game.
Okay.
He reverted to just coming, being a hold-up man, coming short, and just said, "Look, you just run. Just keep going." And it's funny because now I play in like vets games and it's the same thing. Dicko, I'm coming short, you just run. So, and literally I was able to express myself, play the game I normally play. And I remember just Wayne coming up to me after the game, Wayne Burnett, my manager, Dulwich, and saying, He never made that many runs for me.
There you go.
And I was like, it's like, I've never seen so many runs. I was like, Gaffer, you know, like, I'm in the big time now. I got to show myself. But again, going back to the same entertainment factor, I'm now in an environment where I'm overawed, I'm overwhelmed, but I've got to present myself in a way where, like, I want you to remember me. So it was entertainment again, but it was for me. For me, I didn't see the business side of it. I wasn't watching that. I was just like, let's get another game. I'm gonna put on a show. I want to score some goals and see what comes out.
Just another stage for you to just
another stage. That's it.
Shut your stuff.
So then, literally, after the game, I scored 2. I made 1 for Miles Weston, and then Alan Pardew pulls me out of the changing room, and the man gave me the most aggressive handshake I've ever had in my life. And he went, bang! I was like, okay,
You're scared of
That's good.
that's what I wanted to see. That's what I wanted to see. I was like, I'll see you on Thursday. I'm like, okay, see you on Thursday. Cool. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. But again, I don't know what's coming in it.
Yeah.
So then Thursday comes, go in on Thursday. The agent, my new agent now comes in. He's Safe Ruby. And he's obviously been with me the whole journey. But Safe comes in and Safe is, if you know Safe's always looking to punch high. He's looking to punch high. Listen, we ain't coming in here for no 1-year contract. Bro. So I'm like, Charlton offered me a 1 year at first. And Safe's like, cool. He told me directly, he said, I've gone in there and they offered you 1 year. I've told them directly, if this guy smashes it up in the first year, I'm taking him somewhere else. So they're like, okay. You calling that bluff, or is this guy really the hot ticket that he's making out to me? Yeah. Next thing I know, I don't know what else he said in that shit in that room. They come running out of a 2-year deal, like this, waving the paper, and I'm like, what's that say? It's 2 years. It's 2 years. I'm like, okay. Friday came. I signed my deal on that Friday. I believe I went in that Friday as well.
Okay.
This is the week later. Now, if I'm honest, I wasn't smug, and I should have been. I should have been a lot more smug. But it was more of just a humbling experience. To say,
I can understand that. I can understand that.
I've come in here. You told everybody or everyone around that I was going to be here in a year's time, and less than a year, I'm out of here. So I'm saying, you're going to be here in a year's time.
Oh,
so I'm saying, but it was. I didn't.
Mic drop. Drop the mic.
That wasn't actually what I'd said. I was the manager. I was the senior manager.
Okay,
and a lot of people at Grat Brothers were Arsenal fans as well. So they was like, "Oh, make sure you don't score against Arsenal." I'm thinking Charlton in a relegation battle right now. We ain't going to worry about Arsenal. But it was a case of they were just like proud, happy, like overwhelmed. They said, "Look, listen, if you need any help or anything." And obviously the woman wished me well as well. But in my mind, that always stuck in the back of my mind that what you said before, I was going to be here in a year's time. And it wasn't a case of, my motto in life has always been prove people wrong. But I didn't have anything to prove to her. But it was just more a case of, I know I'm above this. This isn't my environment. This isn't my stage. This is my 9 to 5. This is what I'm going to do. But actually, what I'm destined for and what I believe I'm blessed and favoured for is something bigger than this.
Of course.
So luckily, it worked out that way. And then Charlton.
So talk to us about the first week or maybe 2 weeks of training. You're, like you said, you're now in a new professional setting. You're rubbing shoulders with Prem players.
Yeah.
What's that like? How is the young Chris Dickson approaching that?
So I've walked in there as boisterous as I come in. I walked in there as luckily I knew a few people as well.
Okay.
So I knew Osei Sankofa, I knew Lloyd Sam, I knew Miles Weston, I knew James Walker. So they just bedded me in. Nathan Ashton as well. So I knew them from the Resi game, but I knew Miles from school days. So it was easy to kind of come in there, but at the same time, I wasn't trying to be overawed by nobody. Jimmy stuck it on me a few times. That's why I don't play games. He made me know what time it was. I was like, Brigman, I'm in the first team with you, bro. I'm not trying to be washing no one's boots. I'm not a YT in it. I'm in here with you.
Is that what he's trying to get you to do?
Nah, but he was just like, if I'm sitting in his seat, yo,
like Paul Rank.
Paul Rank. And obviously,
senior.
as a senior, I'm just like, yeah, cool, that's your seat, no problem. And not to mention, I mean, don't get me wrong, any senior, I'm going to handle that way, but you're Jimmy Fred Hassel. So let me, if I'm in your seat, I'm stepping aside. So cool, no problem. But it was just almost like, he looked at me like, you're the next generation, but I've got to blood you in. I've got to see how tough you are. And I'm a hard cookie to crack anyway. So I'm saying, so I was just like, listen, all right, anything they throw at me, I'm just gonna bounce. It's just gonna bounce. I'm just gonna bounce with it and we're gonna keep going. And it was, I remember I felt like I was getting that from all angles because Pardew did it in the first training session. Training session was mad. Oh my God. So basically, we did a finishing drill. But it was like the ball was coming from like 4 different angles. So one ball would come from there, then another ball would come from there, and you had to watch. And there's me. I'm just like, I'm still like taking in the surroundings. And I'm there chatting to, I think, Lloydie. Me and Lloydie was cracking jokes.
While the ball's coming in.
Bro, whilst he's explaining the session.
So you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on.
So me and Lloydie just chatting. Bear in mind, Lloyd's probably done this session numerous times. I ain't. So now, it's time for me and Lloydie's going. I think it was me, I'm sure it was me and Lloydie. And I'm just doing that, twirling around, like I'm moving around. I don't know what ball's coming in next. Pardew stopped the session and said, hey, let's all laugh at the non-league player. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying to crack me. There was a lesson. There was a lesson to say, listen, be attentive to what's going on all the time because in the game, you've got to be like that as well. So I'm saying, train as you play and play as you train. So I'm saying, so I was just sitting there. I was just like, wow, like, they really try to embarrass me. And one thing I don't do well is embarrassment. So like, I try and brush that off real quick. Like, so I'm saying, I was like, all right, cool. But in my mind, I was thinking, this guy.
All eyes were on you at that point, isn't it?
All eyes were fully on me. And they all just started laughing and cracking jokes. I was like,
that's the worst, you know.
That's embarrassing.
It burst.
Me personally, I remember the one time it happened to me, my head was so hot, I couldn't do nothing else for the rest of the session. I couldn't control the ball. I couldn't do nothing for the rest. My head was hot.
It was mad. And the exercise, it was not even, I look at it now, the exercise wasn't complicated. But I just wasn't watching. I wasn't watching. I was too busy cracking jokes. I'm saying like, and then next thing you know, listen, Lloyd's going to come in the story later as well. So I'm saying, but it was mad. So yeah, literally, it was, but it was a beautiful feeling to be amongst the players. And they welcomed me in as well. Like, banter was flying. I remember I came in there in my boxer shorts, my essential boxer shorts from Primark. And then man were like, never again. I was like, I had my Lynx Africa spray. Jerome Thomas stuck it on me. I threw my boxes away and said, let me not see that Lynx Africa here.
What's wrong with Lynx Africa?
They dashed it in the bin.
What's wrong with Lynx Africa?
At that level, them man.
Bro, I'll still be repping Lynx Africa.
Them man spray the women's thing, innit? Because the women's thing's more like, it smells better than the man's thing, so I'm saying. So like, Sure, Dove. He said, let me not see that Lynx Africa ever again.
That's mad.
Oh, trust me, even my wash bag had to change real quick.
Oh my God.
That wash bag goes quicker than
It was different. The whole thing was just that.
Had you even started getting that Premier League pay yet before the national way?
Bro, I was nowhere near there, man. That's what I'm saying. And then obviously so what happened was, obviously, because I signed in March.
Okay.
I didn't sign in January. I signed in March. So, because I got injured in January. And that was probably one of my biggest regrets that I didn't sign in January or wasn't able to sign in January because I got injured. So then come March, it's outside the transfer window, I can't officially sign, or I can officially sign for the club, but I can't play in the Premier League.
Yes. So
it's outside the window.
I read about that and I was going to ask you about that.
I was we applied for it, but FA just said no. It's like I play in the reserve Premier League games. So I was like, okay, that'll do. That's what I'm saying. Then that again is my new stage. Again,
you're still smashing it.
Every game I scored. Every game I scored. Portsmouth, Arsenal, didn't matter who it was. I just scored. I remember my first game I think was Portsmouth. I scored 4. And Jimmy played up front with me.
Is it?
Bro, I scored a hattie, and then now my 4th one. I think he's even online somewhere still. Definitely. So my 4th one I picked up from like just inside their half. And I've just weaved through like 1 player, 2 players, 3 players, and Jimmy's out there, out wide. And he's looking at me saying, I need to score to get back in the first team, innit? And I'm looking at it, and I can see, and I'm thinking, bro, I've scored a hattie, I'm about to get another one. And I shot the outside the box. The shot wasn't even good. It was like a tame shot, but it's into the bottom corner. Everyone's going to me, yo, celebrating. I remember Darren Bent was in the stands at the time. Darren Bent's like, clapping his hands and everything. And then Jimmy's come up to me. If you miss that, I just scored 4 goals.
If you miss that shot,
and he just gave me a handshake. Yeah. Like saying, let you off this one. But I was thinking to myself, this guy's on to me, but literally it was nah. But that again, every game, just like I just kept on just going from Dulwich. From the reserve trialist game, I just kept on kicking on. Said, look, I just got to keep scoring, and that was it. And then, unfortunately, we got relegated that year.
Yeah,
and that kind of like set me back. As much as I think, even if I'd stayed in the Prem, I would have at least gone on loan to maybe a Championship club or League One, League One as well. But because we got relegated, it was like, okay, cool. Now you're definitely going to League One.
Because they want to get back up.
Because they want to go back up, and they've got to bring players in. They know they're about to lose all their big boys. All their big names will go back to guard the window. And I remember the next season, just going to the car park, and everything had changed.
Is it?
Wow.
You don't have your space anymore.
I've gone from Escalades to Bentleys. Suddenly there's, only a little downsides, but there's like G7s and Golfs, and there's not really like, there's different kind of whips have gone down.
Yeah, from kitting out over fixtures to Golfs.
The man that were coming in a different car every day, now coming in at one car. That's what it was. And I was like, okay, and things just changed massively. When you get relegated from the Premier League, it's different. It hits every single level of the club.
See, that's interesting.
Yeah,
right?
very
Because
interesting.
The normal fan will just think wages, and they just think, players leave, and that's it. They don't know about behind the screen, behind the fourth wall, as they say.
The kitchen. I remember we used to go in, and I used to love going into breakfast, and it's like, there's no chef. No chef.
Wow.
Like, this chef used to go in early just to go for breakfast and then go gym and whatnot. It's like, and you're just seeing people that we're thinking, why are these people not here no more? Again, I'm new to this. They lost their job. They lost their jobs because ultimately
the money's not the same.
There's no money. So it was just like, it was again, transitional period. And then just seeing the players that were going out and then the players that are coming in. And I'm thinking, this is mad.
That's a madness, isn't it?
The thing is, some of the players that were coming in, there was very, very good players that came in, like Vladislav Todorov, Andy Gray. But Fraser Richardson was another one that came in. But the players that were coming in were maybe coming to the end of their careers, or they weren't like key figures in their previous clubs.
Okay.
So, like, don't get me wrong, they're still good players, you know what I'm saying? But it was just a case of, we've gone from the Darren Bents to the Andy Reeds, like, big names, I'm saying, to suddenly we've got big names, but they're not
necessarily filling you with enough confidence to say
they're not reputable Premier League names. You know what I'm saying, the big names in the Premier League. But for me, it was a case of cool. Like, now I'm going to get my chance. That's how I looked at it.
Especially with your record as well, banging the goals for the reserves. I would have thought you got a chance.
What you'd think that, but. One thing I didn't have on my side that the players that did come in had on their sides, they got league football.
That experience.
They got league football. And because they had league football, they already had a one-up on me.
Okay.
Then you're signing players for 2 million, 2.5 million. And it's like, okay, now they got figures as well. And figures is a big deal. The whole game's about business and figures. And them men are going to play ahead of me, definitely, because we pay big money for them. They have to play.